Yo, what is poppin', my guys? It is your boy Ash Lee coming at you with our Week 5 game of the UBLN. We are playing Prioxis and the Southern Crim, which is pretty cool. We are 1-3 and he is 0-4. So really trying to grab a win this week, pull ourselves up to 2-3, which would be a nice little come up after our 0-3 start. We haven't been doing too great this season, but let's go ahead and see. I really want to win this game, first of all, because Prioxis is a really good friend of mine. I met him when I went to Athens VGC Regionals. I actually didn't play any formats other than VGC until I met Ryan, and I remember being at the event. We talked to each other about wanting to start doing draft leagues together, and we traded phone numbers, and he's like, yo, if you ever find any draft leagues, let me know so I can join and we could battle each other. And I found the UBLN and invited Ryan. So we didn't get to battle last season. So this is our first non-VGC competitive battle. So very important battle to me. I really want to win. I prepped pretty hard for this. I've had this team preps. It took us a long time to get the game done. I've been super busy these past couple of weeks, which is also why my videos are coming out so sporadically. I do apologize, guys, but as soon as football season is over, I will not be working as much. So I'll be back doing full-time shit like you guys have come to expect me to do. So sorry. Let's go ahead and talk about his team, what he has. He has Tapu Fini, Bisharp, Arcanine, which is one of his Demons, Roserade, Meloetta, Drifblim, Dragonite, Thundurus, another Zemon, Thundurus Therian, Cryogonal, Hitmontop, and Mega Pidgeot. So first thing I like about his team is that I like how it's almost an exact carbon copy of my UBLN team last year, or last season, but definitely a scary team. He's got some mons like Mega Pidgeot is definitely a threat. Thundurus T, I've used that thing and I know it's a threat. Dragonite's a threat. Man. This is going to be a tough matchup, but let's see what we have. We brought our Caliwally, the Alolan Ninetales with Light Clay, Snow Warning, Freeze Dry, Aura Veil, HP Ground, and Nasty Plot. So with a Nasty Plot up, with Freeze Dry and Hidden Power Ground, I can actually put in a ton of work against his team. So if the opportunity presents itself, then I will absolutely go for gold on that. Next up, we have our Mega Lopunny, Benzie. This is Limber to avoid getting paralyzed, at least before we Mega Evolve. Then we have Fake Out, Frustration, Drain Punch, and Ice Punch. So I went with Drain Punch over High Jump Kick this week because I felt like there was a lot of mons that I could get some very important HP recovery on, like Bisharp being one. Also having mons like Cryogonal. Basically, High Jump Kick didn't really hit anything super hard. Return hit most of his Pokemon for more damage than High Jump Kick would because of resistances and stuff like that. So I went with Drain Punch because that would allow me to get some health back on the Scizor and the Cryogonal, which both go down to a Drain Punch and don't need a High Jump Kick to take out. So just seemed like the safer play. We have enough speed to outspeed Mega Pidgeot, and the rest is dumped into attack and HP. So next up we have Goofy. This is our Magneton. This boy right here has the Eviolite, very thick boy. Magnet Pull in case we want to trap that Bisharp, because Bisharp cannot really do much. Even though I'm max special attack invested instead of having any investments in defense or special defense, a knockoff still even with knocking off the Eviolite is a 3-hit KO. I'm fairly certain. From what I calculated, unless he has a Sword Stance up. So you couldn't see I was doing the Sword Stance animation with my hands. But Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice, Thunder Wave. So this thing is pretty much mono walled. I threw Hidden Power Ice on here because it's pretty much mono walled by Thundurus Therian. But Thunder Wave is going to be very important to get off on mons like Dragonite, on mons like Roserade if it's Scarfed, on mons like Mega Pidgeot, because it is above the air and cannot be affected by the misty terrain Tapu Fini is going to bring. Which I hate bringing status against people who have Tapu Fini, but the fact of the matter is that most games are going to be more than 5 turns, and you will have a chance to set up status if you play correctly. So next up, we have Maximofo, the Tangrowth. This is knockoff Power Whip, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Regenerator, Assault Vest. So this is not as specially defensive. It does have a lot of defensive investment to wall things like the Dragonite if it's not carrying Thunder or Fire or Ice Punch. It can tank some hits from the Arcanine. It can tank hits from the Bisharp. Does what the pretty much walls Hitmontop, as well as well, that's pretty much all on his team that's physical. I suppose if he brings Meloetta and uses Relic Song and I don't fall asleep, I could wall the physical form of Meloetta as well. But, you know, I don't anticipate him bringing it. We have Darmanitan with a Life Orb, Sheer Force, Flame Charge, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Flare Blitz, which is pretty lit. I really like Flame Charge sets on fire types, if at all possible. For those that don't know, Flame Charge right here is a 100% chance to raise the user's speed by 1. So once this Darmanitan has its speed boosted by 1, it outspeeds everything on his team, and pretty much the only thing that can take any hit from it is going to be the Tapu Fini. Everything else goes down to Flare Blitz, Stone Edge, or Earthquake. So if we can get this Darmanitan in on the Roserade and the Tapu Fini is worn down enough, or if we can get it on the Bisharp, Cryogonal, there's a lot of different Pokemon we can get this Darmanitan in on. We just need to get chip damage on the Fini first. So we're running enough speed to outspeed, I'm fairly certain, the Arcanine, possibly. I can't remember, but finally, we have Gastrodon, Stupid Woke. This has Leftovers, Storm Drain, Toxic, Recover, Scald, and Clear Smog. Max defense set to wall out his defensive threats, because I'm not as worried about his special threats as I am his defensive threats. So anyway, we'll skip right ahead on into the match. You will see that he brought Thundurus T, Dragonite, Tapu Fini, Mega Pidgeot, Roserade, and Arcanine. So a very, very scary crew. He did not bring Bisharp, which is kind of unfortunate, because without Bisharp being here, there's definitely other things I could have used for my Magneton set. I could have possibly ran another coverage move instead of Drain Punch on Lopunny, like maybe like Quick Attack or something like that. I don't know. Who cares? It is what it is. So I'm going to just go ahead and start in on this. I debated for a long time what to lead here, and I really wanted to lead Darm and just try to start getting some damage off, because I didn't see, but I was scared that he would lead Mega Pidgeot, and I don't really have a switch into Mega Pidgeot, so I think I just lead my Alolan Ninetales. It just seems like the smartest thing to do. Try and get a Veil up. As you can see, he leads Arcanine. So he definitely predicts my lead. And here I'm actually worried that he has Choice Scarf Arcanine. So I'm going to switch out. I don't want to lose my Ninetales to a Flare Blitz. And Aura Veil is going to be very, very useful. And as you can see here, he actually goes for the Bulldoze, which was very, very interesting. So it's going to lower the speed of my Gastrodon, but I'm slower than everything on his team anyway. So losing the speed on my Gastrodon is not very good. And it kind of just further reinforces that this is my Arcanine check right here, especially for the set that he brought. He's going to switch out here into Thundurus, because apparently Gastrodon can't run Ice Beam. I mean, I didn't run it, but, you know, it does get it. I'm going to switch right out here into Goofy, though, on the double. So unfortunately, this thing does kind of wall me, but here I'm hoping that he is not choiced and that I can just fire off an HP Ice here, which I do. He is going to throw up the Nasty Plot, and see here, if I had brought Analytic instead of Magnet Pull, I think that could have knocked it out, especially after Hail, but unfortunately, I did not bring Analytic. I brought Magnet Pull, so he's going to Dark Pulse. It's going to do a huge chunk, but shout out to Eviolite, and we're not going to flinch. We're going to get off the Hidden Power and take off this Thundurus. So since the Bisharp isn't here, I'm fairly confident that I don't mind letting this Magneton go down, because as far as I'm concerned, it's done its job. Magneton has taken out one of his threatening sweeping Pokemon, which is what I brought it to do. So here I'm just going to sack off to the Heat Wave. I know it's coming. It's Mega Pidgeot. He has no reason not to run Heat Wave on this set, and that is just going to take me out. So right here, I'm going to go into Mega Lopunny, because I do outspeed, obviously, and I'm going to threaten with the Fake Out. So here I do go for the Fake Out, because I do want to break. If he tries to go Dragonite here or something like that, I want to break the you know, whatever, break the Multiscale. And there's no reason not to Fake Out there, just to show that I do have it or whatever. I kind of wish for something later. I wish I hadn't faked out there, especially because I automatically outspeed the Mega Pidgeot, but we'll talk about that more when it gets there. So he goes into Arcanine, intimidates me, I can't do much, so I'm going to switch right out into my Gastrodon, as he reveals the Crunch, and that does 27% on a crit. So I have Recover, I have Scald, I'm not worried about this Arcanine. I am just going to sit right here and fire off a Scald, as he reveals the Z move, and I'm kind of fearing a Grass Z move or something, but he's actually carrying Black Hole Eclipse. He told me later that was for my Latios, which I did not expect to see Black Hole Eclipse Arcanine. That was really cool prep on his part, but it does allow us just to get the Recover off, and we are back up at 87%, basically nullifying the entire Z move. He is going to Bulldoze here, I guess, anticipating me to switch possibly, but I have no reason to. I'm just going to fire off a Scald, do some damage on that Arcanine, and get a little bit of health back from leftovers. So here I can either make a switch or I can Scald. Basically are my two options. Scald doesn't really do a whole lot to Roserade, as you'll be able to see, but as you can see, I make the smart play here, and I switch. Unfortunately, I switch into my Tangrowth, which is not the smart play. Now, I can live a Sludge Bomb, and I can live an HP Fire. He does crit the HP Fire, which is really dumb, but I crit him back with the knockoff, which is okay. Unfortunately, because he crit me with the HP Fire, I do have to switch and get some Regenerator health here, but in case I do go to Stupid Woke, just kind of see if he's choice locked or anything like that, and he is not choice locked. He is going to go straight for the Toxic Spikes, which is not very good. Because as you can see, I did not bring Mandibuzz. I have no way to stop the Toxic Spikes from going up. So here, I know he's not going for Sludge Bomb. I think if he has HP Fire, he's not going for it. HP Fire is not going to take me out, especially after I get up this juicy Aura Veil, which he cannot stop because he is not Choice Scarf. He is going to get the Leech Seed off on me, which is very unfortunate. But here, I am just going to fire off the Aura Veil as he brings in the Arcanine. So he has 33% health. We have our Aura Veil up. He is going to get a tad bit of Leech Seed recovery after the hail damage, which is very unfortunate, because as you'll see, I am going to fire off the Hidden Power Ground here, and he lives on 9%. Had he not lived on 9%, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the game, but that Leech Seed recovery that he got from setting up the Leech Seed with Roserade was so important. Because now, instead of dying to the HP Ground, he can just go ahead and switch out his Arcanine here into his Mega Pidgeot. Thankfully, I predict that and go for the Freeze Dry. But as you can see, that's not going to do enough damage. If I was not Leech Seeded, I could have nasty plotted up and won the game right here with Ninetales. But unfortunately, because I am poisoned and seeded, the Arcanine lives, the Pidgeot gets a little bit of health back and is on 29%. So here, I can just go into Benzie because I do outspeed. And I can't remember what I fire off here. I know he's going to go into his Tapu Fini, as I think I just fire off the Drain Punch just to try and get some damage back, because Drain Punch would have killed Mega Pidgeot from that range, based on my calculations. So just did a little bit of a Drain Punch to try and, you know, get some health back if he did decide to stay in an attack or something like that. Anyway, that wasn't that great of a play looking back on it, but he's going to miss the Nature's Madness on Tangrowth, which is very unfortunate for him, as I am actually just going to fire off a Rock Slide, I think. I don't want to play any games with this Arcanine or this Dragonite, and I haven't shown it yet, so he doesn't know I have it. And then the Roserade lives on 9%, so not getting good rolls at all this game. He does Hidden Power Fire, although I do have the Aura Veil up with the Assault Vest and knock out the Roserade. So we're looking, it's looking okay. It's looking definitely winnable. Mega Lopunny in the back is looking better and better as more Mons go down, and I think I'm just going to switch out right here and go into my Gastrodon, because at this point, I need my Darmanitan and my Mega Lopunny the most. Although I am starting to notice here that Toxic Spikes with Misty Terrain is not great, because he did get the Toxic Spikes up, but as you can see, Gastrodon is not poisoned because I brought it in on the Spikes with the Misty Terrain up. He is just going to Toxic me though, make sure I get that poison as Gastrodon snags another kill and takes care of this Pidgeot. So we're up 4-3. But I am very scared. This Dragonite pretty much comes in scot-free right now, unfortunately. And but he does go Tapu Fini instead. So here I am just going to switch right out into my Tangrowth, because Gastrodon does a better job of walling Dragonite than my Tangrowth does. And I have Clear Smog on my Gastrodon as well. So I am just going to sack off the Tangrowth here to the Tapu Fini Moonblast. I think he might be choiced, some sort of choice here, right? So I am just going to go right here into my Darmanitan in the Misty Terrain and kind of force the switch. I anticipated that he would switch, so I am going to go for a Flame Charge here as he goes into the Arcanine. If that Arcanine had died earlier instead of living on 9%, he would not have had the Arcanine switch in there, and he would have had to either stay in and Moonblast or go into Dragonite, both of which would have given me a free Flame Charge. But hold on, look at this, look at this, look at this. Right here. We did not get the Speed Boost. I don't know why we didn't get the Speed Boost, but we didn't, which is kind of some bullshit, because that's the only reason I ran Flame Charge. If I knew Flame Charge was going to work, I would have just run fucking Choice Scarf or something. I don't know. But if you know what's up with this, like, if you know if, like, it actually is activated, but just doesn't show up, let me know. But something has happened here, and I did not get my +1 speed boost from my Flame Charge. Anyway, we are just going to go ahead and break multi-scale with the Stone Edge, and I could have switched in Gastrodon here. I should have switched in Gastrodon here, but I still outspeed at +1. So I thought the Stone Edge could take it out. It lives. I get a low roll. Again, for the 5th fucking time this game, I get a low roll. And he's going to set up to +2. So he is Life Orb, I can tell. So I am just going to let him take me out with the Earthquake, because obviously Darmanitan isn't doing a whole lot to Tapu Fini. And I am just going to go straight into my Lopunny here, alright? So here's the thing, guys. Pause. Okay, here's the thing. This is a 50-50. I have Fake Out. He knows I have Fake Out. I wish I had it, because earlier in the game, if I didn't show him I had Fake Out, all I have to do here is click Fake Out, because he doesn't know that I have it. He has no reason to switch. But because he is Choice Locked Fini, I don't know what kind of choice he is. He could be Scarf. If he's Scarf, he outspeeds and knocks me out with Moonblast. If he's Specs, he can definitely tank at least one return. And then he can tank a Fake Out and a return and knock me out with Moonblast. So, in my mind, I can't Fake Out here. I should have faked out. I really should have faked out, because the two scenarios are either I Fake Out, kill the Dragonite, or I Fake Out and lose to the Fini. And I did not want to lose to the Fini. I was sitting here and I thought really long and hard. And as much as I really wanted to click Fake Out, I just banked on the fact that he was going to switch. I thought he was going to switch. I've been predicting his switches all game. I've been playing really well. I felt like I had a good idea of what he was trying to do with the match. And he has extreme speed. Knocks me out. His Dragonite does go down, but because Misty Terrain will be up for 5 turns, I cannot 1v1 this Dragonite. I am Toxic Poison instead of just regular Poison. Had I been just regular Poison, I could have Recover stalled until the Misty Terrain was out, and then poisoned him and Scald recovered, or Clear Smog recovered up. But as you can see, that's going to do too much damage, and we are going to lose 1-0 to the Southern Crims. So I choked this game away. Proxus played a great game. It was a really good game. He brought really good prep. I was definitely impressed, because he's traditionally a lot more of a VGC player. I've played a ton more singles than I have VGC, even though I played a shit ton of VGC. Because of just my personal growth path, I've played a lot more VGC, singles, but he's been to a ton of VGC events, and he beats me in VGC usually. So I was really hoping to take him in singles, and I choked on Dix. I literally choked on Dix. Very good game, super entertaining game to play. I had a good time doing it, and hopefully, I know we'll get to battle again in the future. This boy's like my rival, but really unfortunate that I had to get in my own way there at the end to win. Not saying that he doesn't deserve a win. He played well, but I think I deserve it a little bit more, obviously. So, good game to Proxus. We are now 1-4 in the UBLN. So, if I shoot myself later, you know why. WTF upload should be coming soon-ish. I have worked a shit ton. I finally got my video back for my week 4 battle, but who knows, man. I got kind of a shitty weekend coming up, so it could come up next week. It could come up sometime tomorrow. I have no idea. We'll see. Anyway, Hope you guys enjoyed everything. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe, all the bullshit, and peace.